Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's Biome Academy session, where we will be talking about the journey of Bengaluru from Antarctic to the 16th century. We have today with us Mr. Udaya Kumar, who will take us through a fascinating layered journey of the city, one that moves beyond modern Bengaluru to uncover its deep geological, cultural, and historical roots. Mr. Udaya Kumar, he is a Bangalore-based heritage conservationist and independent researcher, and he leads one of India's most ambitious citizen-led digital humanities initiatives, the Bengaluru Inscriptions 3D Digital Conservation Project at the Mythic Society. He's also an honorary director of Bengaluru Inscriptions 3D Digital Conservation Project, and he's documented and preserved 1,500 plus stone inscriptions. He combines epigraphy, 3D documentation, data science, and public engagement. He's also a former engineering leader at Tata GE and Schneider Electric. He was a former engineering leader, and he's been awarded Namma Bengaluru Citizen Individual of the Year 2019. So, welcome, sir, and over to you now for the presentation.
Thank you. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. All right. Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, great. And I suppose you can see the screen as well. Right. Excellent. Okay. So thank you, everyone. At the moment, I see about 35 participants. That's very encouraging. And all the 35 are people I have either not spoken to or met in person. So I'm so happy to do this now. New set of people to learn a little bit more about Bengaluru. Yeah, so the title was intended to be catchy. We do want to go to the Antarctica and then come to the 16th century, which is the story of Bengaluru. So let's start from there. So what we would do is we go back to the old times, the deepest of times, when the Earth was still forming. It was a red hot semi-solid mass, and things had just begun to solidify. And they solidified into chunks of masses, which most of which was kind of gathered around the South Pole. Okay, and this is the period we are talking about is about 3.5 billion years ago. That chunk of mass, a part of that, solidified fully around 250 million years and floated up, became a part of Bangalore. This is a very familiar sight for most people. It's the Lalbagh rock. Now, when you're walking on that rock, most people, would enjoy the running around there and skipping around and all of that. But you are walking on some of the oldest pieces of rock anywhere in the world. There are a few places on Earth which have rock which are older, but in an urban setting, especially in a global city setting like ours, we don't have the opportunity to touch and feel something as old as this. How old was it? It predates oxygen, means predates life on Earth. That's how amazingly old it is. So the history of Bengaluru starts from here. And we are so fortunate, we are so lucky that we have a small chunk popping out from the Earth somewhere. And we have the ability, and our city is essentially built on this foundation or on this floor itself. So we stand on something which is extremely significant in the history of the Earth itself. Okay, it goes by the name of peninsular gneiss. Though it's spelled as GNEISS, it's spelled as gneiss. Now, this is not the only place where the rock is found. It's found in a lot of other places, in Bangalore as well, and in other places too. But what makes it so unique is virtually every Bangalorean or visitor to the city touches it and walks on it. You would have to go to the Australian outback, deep inside, or to the Canadian Rockies to see something like this, older than this. Okay, all right. So that's the spectacular story which starts 3.5 billion years ago. But that rock was not where it is today. That rock was a part of a landmass called the Gondwana line, and it was in the Antarctica about 250 million years ago. So as you can see on the left side of the screen here, let me put on my pointer. Yeah, here, as you can see on the left side of the screen, this is the years, million years ago, and this is the latitude where we were, where the piece of land was. Most of Earth was actually started here, but the most significant part is most of that piece of land is not left exposed for us to touch and feel like in Bengaluru. So that rock started around 70 degrees south, pretty close to the Antarctic. And in 250 million years, it slowly traveled up over a period of time, crossed the equator, and has now reached 13 degrees north of the equator. We started deep down in the southern hemisphere, and now we are up 13 degrees from the equator. So the piece of rock is traveled far, far, far more than most of us travel, across continents usually. So it is not a static piece of land that's there. It's a piece that has journeyed from 250 million years ago. So, so the story of Bengaluru is one of travel, one of time, and one of antiquity as well. Okay. Now, that's the story of a piece of rock. But we also have, so where does the story of man itself start? Here. So the earliest evidences we have of people living here come from a few places, including the Lalbagh rock. So what you're seeing here in the photograph is what is called a dolmen. These are stone shelters, sometimes also used for graves as well. And people leave pottery there along with the body. The pottery carried food and other offerings for the departed one. So the Lalbagh rock had such dolmens as well. Subsequently, it's been destroyed in quarrying, and we have lost it. Lalbagh had it, Ragigudda had it, and this is in Kannur. This one still exists, which is a little bit north of Outer Ring Road in the Ainur Banaswani Wadi region. So we have a lot of instances of dolmens of human people living here. These are approximately from the 500 to the 1000 before the Common Era, which makes it approximately 2500 to 3000 years ago. So if you want kind of place that, this was the time when around the Vedas were being developed, the Buddhism was thriving. Ashoka was kind of just getting into his this one around 250 CPC, and so on and so forth. Now, also there's a very interesting aspect here. Today, this is known as a city of industries, right? But even about 2,500 years ago, what I'm circling here are Stone Age implements. These are cleavers and cutting tools and all of that. Now, at Jalalli, there were so many that were there that it was not a stone tool usage kind of a place. They were manufacturing stone tools for all the people around. So it was actually a stone tools factory there. And right there is where we have HMT and BEL and all of the modern industries there. So the tradition of HMT and BEL and all of these industries are sitting in a place which was once a factory, and not once, about 2,500 years back, a factory there. Okay, so locally these dolmens are also called as Pandavara Gudis or Maurya Manes, Maurya basically probably stemming from one of two things. One was that you're indicating the reign of the Mauryas, or it could have been a community or something like that as well. We just don't have dolmens. We also had rock art. So this rock art, in this case, you're seeing a man on a horseback or a donkey or whatever it is like that. Here you're seeing some people partying around a campfire. Okay? And here you're seeing a man leading a cow, through its, through the thread, the nose thread there, the Mugdara as it's called in Kannada here. So these are all scenes that existed here about 2,500 years ago. Now, except that this dolmen, everything else has been destroyed. All we are left with is photographs from academic journals such as in Man. Oh, by the way, the Jalali tools are still available to see at the British Museum in London. So you would have to go to Britain to see it if you wanted to, if you want to. But the rock art at Kaneli, Gattigere, and all of these places are gone. This was on a boulder. What's left here of the boulder is what is shown. This is now this is where a school is today, and this is the quarry which contained these rock arts. So the rock is gone. Okay. I do want to show you extraordinary things that we have had in Bangalore. I do also want to not hide the fact that we have lost it. We have carelessly destroyed it as well. All right. So, that's the earliest of the human settlements. But let's learn a little bit more about our people and the places within the city itself. Okay. So, obviously, as like everywhere, we have had heroes here. And I'm taking an example from a very unlikely place, the Indian Institute of Science, the Tata Institute campus. So what you're seeing here on the left is actually a tiger. And if you look carefully, you'll see a bow and an arrow, and a man holding the bow and arrow. This part of the sculpture would have had a man. His body, is holding this thing, but it's been broken, and we don't have that piece today. These are called hero stones or memorial stones, and they're put up for someone who died performing a heroic act. They were martyrs. Now, to really understand the significance of this, you have to imagine a situation. These days, it's quite common to have leopards, wandering into villages and homes and all of that. Now, a leopard is so terrifying that people don't step out of the homes. A few years back, a leopard entered into a school at Marathalli, and there was absolute chaos there. For 2 days, the leopard was inside the school. Then Sanjay Gubbi, who was a conservationist, had to come and trap the leopard. In the process, it bit his hand, and I think he had to have multiple operations. It took him many years to recover fully from that. Now, a leopard is a small cat. It's not terrifying. It's not big in that sense. A tiger is massive. It's about 7 foot long and easily upwards of 3 to 4 feet tall. Imagine such a ferocious animal comes into your village or home or school or whatever it is. That is going to be quite something. Or assume it's turned man-eater, and it's picking on you old people or frail people or cattle or dogs and hen and all of that. So this man essentially set out to hunt down the tiger. He killed the tiger, and in the process, he also died. Now, killing the tiger is an act that benefits the public, the general public. So you want in your society people of this type, this character. So he was immortalized on stone, so that future generations would kind of draw inspiration from that person and would also express the gratitude to the person for having saved this community. So hero stones are put up for this purpose. Very interestingly, this is sitting in Indian Institute of Science campus, which is a high-tech, happening place in India, in Bangalore, in India, and the world as well. And there's a link right on that campus from a prehistoric days to this. What's even more interesting is there's a stone standing behind. This is how it is. We are in the campus itself. there's a stone behind it, which are actually carrying cup marks on that. Cup is like, small depressions or man-made depressions on the stone, which are very, very indicative of prehistoric times. So the ultra-modern go-to science and technology destination in Bangalore also has something from about 2000 plus years they're standing there. The hero stone is about 1000 years old. It's from 10th century. The cup mark stone is probably about 2000 years old there. Okay. Now, I went into a great detail here to explain what a hero stone is and kind of places we find them. Actually, it's not one, but we have at least 90 such hero stones within the city of Bangalore. And what you're seeing here is a map, and these divisions here are wards of the city. Each of these small icons, photographs, is a hero stone. Various kinds of acts. One is a sati stone like here. Since I said sati, I do want to caution you and tell you this is not the West Bengal Rajaram Mohan Rai kind of sati. This is a voluntary act. It was a very sacred act. It was extremely rare. Only one happened many hundred years, and it was commemorated in this fashion by setting up a stone. This one is in Dodnekundi, and this is again from the 10th century. Here's another, this is probably one of the earliest tiger hunt stones in Karnataka itself, or maybe any other place. It's an 8th century stone from around Bannerghatta. Now here's another one which is a slightly different nature. This is called a self-sacrifice or Atma Balidana stone. Now, when a calamity strikes the place, the calamity could be something like a COVID, a disease which is wiping out people and animals. It could be drought for many years where people don't have water, or it could be floods or anything like that. Now, typically the practice for anyone is to rush to a temple and ask God to help solve the problem. And in most cases, if it's your child's health or whatever, then you take a vow. You take a vow that I'll have break 108 coconuts or get butter, do some alankara of some type, and so on and so forth. Similarly, you're essentially offering something valuable to the god. The most valuable thing you have is your life, and when a calamity of that nature magnitude strikes, a person has taken a vow to the god that he will offer his own most precious thing, which is his life. And here you're seeing that act where two people, they have fallen on a sharp object, is pierced through them. And because it's such a brave act, right in front of the temple, such a memorial stone will be erected. Okay. So we have 90 such various other heroes of Bengaluru. Now this map is available online. You can either scan the QR code, or you can type this link yourselves and you can access it. You can click on the icon and it'll throw up complete details of that. Where is this hero stone? What period is it from? What type of a hero stone is it? What was the act? And all of that. So I'm sure most of you would be interested in knowing in your own localities who's the ancient hero around. And this map can help you show that. I've given you a few examples, and I hope triggered your curiosity enough to go check it out right after this call, after this meeting. Okay. So these 90 heroes, they span from the 8th century on till about the 17th century. Most of them are people you're not likely to have heard of, but they are people who sacrificed their lives. And thanks to that, we have a city and we are happy where we are today. Now, when it comes to the places itself, the earliest written record of Bengaluru is what you're seeing on the screen now. This is from 890 CE, the 9th century. And what you're seeing is Kannada script as it was then, about 1100 years ago. So those of you who can read Kannada may be kind of wondering, this is not Be, this is Bra or Bu or something like that. The Etwa, today we write it here. This would actually be written here. Until the 10th century, it was written at the bottom. So you are seeing Be, and the chuke here, which is makes it ben. This is ga. You can easily guess this is the ga and the u. This is la and the u, and this is ra. So this is Bengaluru, as slightly different from the way we say it today. We say Bengaluru, but in 1100 years ago it was Bengaluru. But for some strange reason, APSRTC and Telangana State Transport, this one, when they write in Telugu, still continue to write it this way. So if you see a TSRTC or APSRTC bus, you will see Bengaluru spelled in this way. Okay. So for those of you who thought Bengaluru was a new place, it was founded by, after the IT revolution happened, or when the British came here, or when Kempegowda built the city and the Pete areas. All of that is wrong. The earliest record we have of Bengaluru is from 890 CE, and you see it on the screen here. This inscription is still there at the Begur Panchalingeshwara temple. Anyone can go and have a look at it. Though the stone will not look as crystal clear as here. Almost all of the images I'm showing you here are digital images that have been produced by scanning of those inscriptions, which is what we do in our project, and I'll talk about it towards the end. Okay, now that's about the place Bengaluru. Now, actually, the city Bengaluru, as we know it today, is actually a patchwork of about 200 urus within it. Alsuru, Beguru, Ishwantapura, all of these urus, puras. And you probably will be surprised, Bengaluru today, modern day Bengaluru has upwards of about 200 urus and 400 hallis or villages within it. And it could be Akitimanahalli, it could be Chennaihalli, it could be all kinds of hallis here. So while we just think of Bengaluru as one place, it's not really that. It's about 200 urus and 400 hallis today. So the story of every one of these places is the story of Bengaluru today. Okay, and what you're seeing here on the map on the left side is these are all, how do we know these places existed is through inscriptions. Like I showed you the Bengaluru inscription. Similarly, there are upwards of about 170 inscriptions within the city of Bangalore, the Greater Bengaluru Authority boundaries. Each of these is a GBA ward today. Okay, there's I forgot, they keep changing it all the time. I think now it's 340. So there's 340 odd wards on the screen there now you're seeing. Each of these icons is actually an inscription stone. We have color-coded this. A green heart essentially means there was an inscription. There is an inscription stone there. You can go see it, you can feel it, you can read it, and you can do all of that. It's also published and documented in a book. A red skull mark means there used to be an inscription stone there. It's broken, not traceable today. Of the 170 inscriptions, about 70 inscriptions are not traceable today. They're all documented in a book, but they're not available for us to study or see in person. Now, this map too is available online. You can either scan the QR code or you can click on this link here and it'll take you there. In fact, this is a live map. It keeps getting updated every day. We add more when we discover more, we keep adding more. Here, what we are showing you here on the screen is just the city of Bangalore. Actually, there's more than 1,500 inscriptions in the region of Bangalore, and all of them are available on the map. You can use this to navigate as well. When you click on an icon, when you press on an icon, you can ask to give a route map just like any other pin on in Google Maps, and you can navigate your way to the inscription stone. It's been used about 500,000 times, 5 lakh times so far by all kinds of people. And I bet you're all keen to see what inscriptions are in your own neighborhood. Do please go and have a look at that. When you click on the icon there, it gives you the complete text of the inscription in Kannada, in English, in Tamil, and the translation of it, or the summarization of it, and all of that. So it's your guidebook to learning the story of the city via inscription stones. Okay. Now, in addition to inscriptions, there are some, what you're seeing here as the place names, just as an example. Okay. What we have done here is, if an inscription is from a certain period, we give it a certain color, and you see the legend on top here. Okay. So is something which was recorded between 500 and 700 CE is given a brown color, and that is Begur. Okay. So that is here is Bempur Ishwara from 5th century Kannada. The first one is Bempur, and it's Ishwara, Bempur Ishwara. So the Begur area, which is the electronic city area, has been around for 1500 years now. It's the oldest settlement we have by name in the city. People lived for much longer, but by place name, we know Begur to be the oldest settlement here. So here's Dombalura. That's Dombalur, which is the far end of the eastern end of MG Road. So eastern end of MG Road, if you see here, is from 1200 to 1300, and that's the color we're given here. So Dombalur ward is at least 700 years old. So if you see the map now, and if you understand the color coding, anything which is this kind of an saffron color is from 1300 to 1400 CE by a same or a very similar name as well. Okay, so here we are seeing the neighborhoods of Bangalore, the antiquity of the neighborhoods of Bangalore. Okay, if I pick Vidyaranyapura area here now, then we are seeing first mention of Vidyaranyapura, not Vidyaranyapura, it's actually Virupakshapura there in the inscription stone. That is from 1300 to 1400. I'm saying it for the folks who are in the Biome office right now. Okay, so if you see this map now, there's one thing which stands out. The heart of the city seems to be the youngest part of the city. All around is the older parts of the city. But strangely, in Kannada, we call the center of the city, which is the Pete area, as the Haleya Bengaluru or Old Bengaluru. That's actually a misnomer. That's not true at all. The heart of the city is amongst the newest parts of the city as well. So no matter where you are, you may think you are in an ultra-modern place, you are in Electronic City, or you are in Whitefield or some of those places. That's absolutely wrong, because beneath the glass buildings, multi-story buildings, is something extremely ancient. You're standing on very ancient land and places there. Okay, all right. So moving forward, I already spoke a little bit about IISc, educational institutions. So let's understand a little bit more about the educational institutions of the city, the languages that were spoken here, and the religions or the faiths that were followed here as well. So let's first check, let's look at the languages. Now, one thing that everyone who comes to Bangalore or lives in Bangalore observes and always talks about is that Bangalore is a multilingual place. Most people here are polyglots. They can speak 4 to 5, and a few people can speak many more than 5 languages as well here. Kannada, Tamil, Telugu is quite common, in English as well, English and Hindi as well. So 5 languages is not at all a rarity here. But however, a lot of people, people seem to think that these languages came from elsewhere. Actually, that's not true. These languages do come through people migrations, of course, but languages have existed here for many, many hundreds and thousands of years. So what we are seeing here are again place names that are kind of extracted out from inscriptions. So on the top, okay, this is 10th century Jakkiura, that's Jakkur today. So Jakkur in Kannada was written in Kannada about 1,000 years ago. Around the same time, this is Pattandur. Anyone who's traveled on the Whitefield metro would have noticed Pattandur Agrara railway station. This is also from the 10th century. This is Kallukere. the Kalkere Lake, and for biome people, I'm especially interested. This is from around 1400s. That lake is at least that old. Okay. So this is Nekundi. Dot Nekundi that I spoke about in the HL area. This is from the 14th century. This is Deva Samudra near Ramaya College in Canada. So we have writings here in Tamil, Kannada. I've not taken Telugu. This one we have Telugu inscriptions as well. Essentially indicates that we have Tamil, Kannada, and Telugu simultaneously being used in this region for at least 1,000 years. We have documented written records for at least 1,000 years. So if people are speaking multiple languages here in Bengaluru, it's very simply because multiple languages existed here for millenniums. Okay, to kind of highlight that, let me show you the. This is a map. Let's see if I can play the movie here. Unfortunately, I cannot. Okay. Anyway, I'll skip the this one. Okay. So now to the educational institutions parts. Yesteryear, educational institutions were called agraharas or mangalas. Okay, and I'm showing you a few examples here. There is Bertena Agrara, there's Pattandur Agrara, and there's Parappan Agrara boards that I'm showing here. Agraharas were essentially places of residence of people from many communities, including Brahmins. Okay, and they essentially, the scriptures, philosophy, logic, grammar, science as in Ayurveda or astronomy, all of these subjects were studied and taught in these places. So every agrahara is essentially an educational institution. And I already mentioned Pattandur Agrahara in an earlier case, and that inscription is from 1028. So a school or a college existed there 1,000 years ago. Okay? And so does Mangala, as in Koramangala, Nelmangala, and all of these as well. Okay. Now, what is very interesting is in Bengaluru today, there are upwards of about 40 ancient agraharas or mangalas. So the next time someone asks a quiz question or asks you, which is the oldest school in Bangalore, please be very careful in answering it. It's not Bishop Cotton's, it's not St. Joseph's, it's not any one of those schools. The oldest dated school we have is Pattandur Agrahara, which goes back about 1,000 years. So in some of these places now, though not in an urban context, if you do go on the rural side, in the Mangalas and the Agraharas, you do happen to see gurukuls where these things continue, the tradition still continues. They are the schools of the Indian type. Okay, all right. So the tradition of learning, the tradition of teaching, this is known as the city of educated people. This is the place where people come to get educated, right? It could or do research. It could be the Indian Institute of Science. It could be the Indian Institute of Management. It could be an Indian Statistical Institute. It could be C.V. Raman Institute. It could be Azim Premji. It could be Chanakya. It could be any of those famous educational institutes we have in Bangalore. I think there's a strong tradition. If you have 40 such ancient schools, obviously education learning is something which is ingrained in the people here. Okay, all right. Now, strangely, Parappan Agrahara is where we also have our central jail today. Strange place to have a jail. But if you think about it, in a way, it's also an educational place where people are being taught to relearn some things. It's still a place for education and learning there, though not your usual type. So I think it's appropriate to look at the central jail in Parappan Agrahara as well. Okay. Now, about religions or faiths. Now, again, just like people are multilingual here, this place is very diverse in terms of the religious spectrum that we have, and that's again historically founded as well. Now here I'm showing you a few examples. Everywhere here on each slide, I'm only giving you a little bit of a teaser. Now, just to kind of give you a flavor and not do a deep dive into each one of those topics. Each one of these topics itself requires hours of discussion. Okay, on the left here is what you see here is actually an 8th century Vishnu sculpture. This is not proper Bangalore. It's from a place called Kudlur near Chenapatna, not too far away. It's a magnificent Vishnu sculpture from the 8th century. So that's an extremely good example for Vaishnavism here. This magnificent temple is where the Bengaluru inscription is. This is the by Begur Panchalingeshwara temple or the Nageshwara temple complex. This one is from the 9th century. You know, this is in great condition. It's extremely rare to find such a spectacular temple in an urban setting, or such an ancient temple in an urban setting. And I often draw the example and I say, if people go far away places to see some spectacular ancient monuments, you don't have to go anywhere. If you just sit in Bangalore and move around Bengaluru and know where to go, you can see almost anything you want here. This is an example of Jainism, a Tirthankara. This is also from Begur. Jainism was very dominant between up till about the 14th century in this region. Today, it's not so very common, though we still have quite a few Jains. But Jainism was the majority religion in this place until about the 14th century. We have umpteen number of examples of Jain Tirthankaras, Basdis, and all of these in and around the city of Bengaluru. Here's one, probably the oldest of the religious denominations we have as evidence here. This is in a place called Rajghatta, which is a little bit north of Hesarghatta, about 30 kilometers outside the city. 4th century Buddhist chaityas and viharas have been excavated there. Extraordinary structure. It's a brick structure. It's a magnificent structure, if you can see it. Actually, the excavation for the second excavation is about to start, has just started recently there. All of this is covered now. Unfortunately, you can't see it if you go there, but we have strong evidences of Buddhism in this region. So we have Vaishnavism, we have Shaivism, we have Jainism, we have Veerashaivism. This is the Veerashaiva Mata from almost contemporary from Basavanna's times. Okay, so we have these extraordinary evidences of multiple faiths in the city, which also essentially helps shape the fabric of Bangaloreans. Tolerancy is ingrained here. It's hard to incite, create riots, interreligious disputes and this one and all of that. Most festivals in the city are syncretic in nature. For example, the Karga stops at many dargahs. So is the case with some of the Christian this one as well. And that's founded on the history of the place. It's very rare that you have seen religious turmoil, religious battles fought here. So next time around, people say, how come Bangalore people are so calm, composed, tolerant, and all of that? Say it's virtually built into our DNA because it goes back 1,000 years or more. Okay, and the story of the city is also very, very, very strong in its names, and I did also refer to it in some way. Now, you find a plethora of Sandras in Bengaluru. Boob Sandra, Jack Sandra, Allada Sandra, so many Sandras. Each of these Sandras is actually a location for a lake. And the word Sandra, the term Sandra is derived from the Sanskrit term Samudra. Over a period of time, colloquially, it's become Sandra. The old names and inscriptions, many times, as you can see here, will also contain, I showed you a Deva Samudra there. Here I'm showing you a Allada Sandra example. This is a real lake, it's a real photograph. So we have upwards of 50 Sandras in the city. So people always talks about the city of lakes, right? The city of lakes is there for a reason. Every time you go past a Sandra or a Samudra or a Keri or a Eri, all of them are essentially indicators of lakes. The place name and the lake name will happen to be the same as well. And this tradition of naming a lake as a Sandra was essentially a 14th, 15th century tradition. Like today, we have layouts, nagars, Kempegowda layout, Rajaji Nagar, Jayanagar, which is essentially a 21st century style of naming. In the 14th and the 15th centuries, it was very common to name a lake or a place as a Sandra or a Samudra. So the instant you see a place name called Sandra, it's at least 600 years old. The instant you see a lake which has a Sandra in it, that lake is that old. By the way, the oldest lakes in this city are about 1300 to 1400 years. We have documented evidence of that. Hebbal Lake is actually for 1300 years old. And that name is actually also coming. Hebbal Lake or the other name for Hebbal Lake in the far end is Bhupsandra. Okay, Bhupsandra was a smaller lake, but attached close by to that was Hebbal Lake, a larger one. Hebbal is mentioned in an 8th century inscription as Perbolal. And it's morphed over time to Hebbal. That's how we know that lake is 1300 years old. There's a Durgi idol, and I'll show a photograph of that later there, which used to be at the at the lake bund of Hebbal. Now is sitting in Bhupsandra. But that Durgi is stylistically and the writing is from the 8th century. So we know that's that old. Belandur Lake is probably even older. Agara Lake is also again 1200 years old. Most of our lakes span about 1300 to 600 years lakes, old lakes. The youngest lakes of the city are Alsur Lake, Sankey Tank. These are the Miller's Tank, which is now gone, and Dharma Mudi Tank, which is gone, and all of that. But the old standing lakes, any lake that you see today standing in Bangalore, has fed the city, the people of the city, for centuries and centuries. So we need to not only revere this, we also need to celebrate these lakes. Okay. Now the other unique place name is Palyas and Petes. We see again, so many Palyas, Ane Palya, Gurgunte Palya, Kamakshi Palya, and so on and so forth. This was an 18th century naming tradition. Essentially, these were camps of soldiers. Typically from the Hyder, Tippu, and the Palegar periods. Palegars were essentially owners of Palyas.
Palya ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪು ಏನೋ
Can you please mute your mic? Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we have about 280 palyas or military camps. So if there was a big cantonment established here, there's not one cantonment, there are actually upwards of 280 cantonments in the city. Every palya is actually a cant. It's an Indian name for a cant. That's all. So what's very interesting is if you go to the Chickpet metro station, there's a lovely little big board put up of about the 30 petes of Bengaluru there. The other common thing is a pete, especially in the in the old city area, or the wrongly called old city area. So we have, if you see the names here, Akki Pete, Nagarat Pete, Kabban Pete, Tigalar Pete, and so many other petes. Petes typically are coming from the 16th century. They were all within the fort at that time. So they're all about 400 years. So 400 years in our world is really not so old because we have so many instances of older ones. But essentially, anytime you see a pete in Bangalore, by default, you know it's about 400 years old, just from the name itself. And many of them also give away the people who resided there. So there is a Ganigar pete. And if you see here, there's a Ganigara pete, there's a Ganigara pete. Ganigara are these oil extractors. So they had these oil, mills where they would put the seed, and then kind of grind the oil out. And that's where they lived, and that's where they transacted business. Akipete is where the rice traders lived. Kumbarpete is where the pottery community lived and performed. So the beauty of this is the moment you see this, one, the city is built not just by kings and queens. All of these people who were there, the Ganigars, the Kumbars, every one of those people actually built this town and city. And if you see the position in which they are all there, it's a very dignified place they lived in the heart of the city. Labor was valued. They were not thrown out somewhere. Okay. So now I'll come to the part of what we do. And what's happening to these things that we are seeing? The story I gave you was absolutely fascinating. And I'm sure, you all kind of just are all pumped up now and, I live in a great place kind of feeling. But what is the state of these inscriptions is really what I want to kind of show you here. If I provoke you, I think I've made my point very clearly. This one is from 1495. It's from a place called Gongadipura, which is near Bengaluru University, Kengeri area. This inscription is about the construction of an agrahara. It's an establishment of a school or college in 1495. Now look at the stage it is in. Adjacent to this is Bengaluru University, which is continuing the tradition of education there. All weed overgrown. There's boulders, there's garbage. You can barely step on it. Now here's another example from Hebbard. There's two of us sitting in a roadside ditch. This hero stone is the Hebbal Kittaya hero stone. It's from 750 CE, 1300 years ago. You can see some palm marks here. This man gave his life to save Hebbal. There was a attacking force that came to destroy Hebbal. The term that was used was Ur Alivu, to destroy the town. He fought with them. He died, and he saved the town. Because it was such a selfless martyr kind of an act, they put up a memorial stone to commemorate him. And now it's sitting in a road. It was sitting on a roadside ditch, and people were spitting on it. If your chest was all, kind of filled up and all of that, it's punctured. This is what we are doing to our history today. This is what we are doing to our heritage today. We are destroying it. We are losing it. The names that I've been mentioning, Allal Sandra, Jakka Sandra, Shivanhalli, this Halli, that Halli, we are renaming it. Allal Sandra judicial layout is now dropped. Allal Sandra from it, and they prefer to call it judicial layout. There's something demeaning apparently about Allal Sandra. Shivanahalli has become Shivanagara. Apparently demeaning to have an Halli in your place name. The Bengaluru City Corporation could the GBA, when it did its wards reorganization, we gave a proposal to rename all wards based on the oldest places in that this one. We gave a list of about 105 such names. Not one was accepted. We somehow seem to be ashamed. We would rather call it as Rajiv Gandhi Nagar or whatever else. Rather than we should be standing up and screaming our ancient names. Be very proud of it. They are the reason why we exist today. Okay? So history heritage is at risk. While man himself is kind of causing it, nature is also taking a toll. When a stone stands in the open air, it's exposed to the elements. It could be water in the form of rain, it could be temperatures, it could be wind, it could be all of that. So the stone itself would chip away, erode away, fade away, and all of that. So nature is also destroying it. So what we do in our project is what I'm showing here. Let's hope we can play this movie. If I get rid of this laser, I guess. Anyway, so let me show you this. This is a small handheld scanner. It's a three-dimensional scanner from which light is emitted. It has 6 cameras and it has about upwards of 20 flashlights. So we hold it against the sculpture or the inscription. This is the Bhupsandra Durgi inscription. It used to be at Hebbal tank. This is from the 8th century. So this is Durga, and Durga is installed by the lake month. Typically, Durga is the goddess of fertility and too. So she's always installed by the lake, and she's worshipped. So anywhere you see a Durgi idol by a lake in the old Mysore region, you can be certain that it's about 1200 to 1300 years old. And the iconography, the stylistic depiction of Durga is from about the 8th century. There is also writing here, which is the reason why we said Hebbal is so old, Hebbal Lake is so old, and all of that. Essentially, we kind of hold it, slowly, gradually move it all over the stone, and we capture, we capture the surface geometry of that in extremely high resolution, 0.05 millimeter depth actually, which is the thickness of a human hair. So in the event there was a hair on the stone, our model would have actually captured it as well there. So, the traditional way of taking is slapping a white paper on the stone, wetting the paper and then dabbing with some black ink and all that. This is the old method which is being used for 150 years. It's, I think, best relegated to the Stone Ages. We are now in the rocket space age now, and we need to adopt these kind of technologies. It's absolutely non-invasive. We don't use anything. It's just light, shining a light on it. So we don't harm the stone in any way. So in our project, when I was introduced as having saved about 1,500 inscriptions. This is what we do. We go stone to stone, village to village, street to street, and then we build high resolution models of these, digital models of these. So no matter what happens, whether it's human carelessness or apathy which is causing the destruction, or nature, we have extremely high resolution 3D digital models of these. So let me, there you are. So this is how we do scanning. We carry a laptop and we record it on the computer. Usually, wherever we go, it attracts a lot of people, especially children who are very inquisitive and who want to know. And they're almost always, they all live in the vicinity there. They're all absolutely surprised, how come no one told us about the history of this place, the value of this deity or temple or stuff like that. Okay. Now let me show you a real example of our 3D model itself. All those static images. What I'm showing you here is a real model. So, like, if this may look like a photograph, I can zoom, I can pan, and all of that. But what I can do is also I can rotate it because it's three-dimensional. This is a very famous inscription called the Nagatara inscription. There is writing here, but as you can see, it's not so very visible. But because I'm on a computer and I have a digital model, I can shine a light. You're seeing the yellow rays there. It's like shining a torch from an angle. So because of the shadow effect, you begin to see the writing better. So what you're seeing here is 9th century Kannada now. And also I can use some very sophisticated rendering algorithms. Keep looking at the the image and you'll suddenly see the letters jump out. There you go. Again, I can do the same thing about shining lights and enhancing it and making it more readable and all of that. Now, if you know the script, and I'm sure you can recognize the Ra here, the C here, okay, easily in all of that. I can also make it much more visible. I can get rid of the colors, and there you go. I remove the stone color, and it becomes as if like it's written on a chalkboard or the color board. So when we make a copy like this, no matter what happens to the stone, we have a digital copy of this. So this is how we save inscriptions. We also, of course, make sure physically they're secure. We put them in a proper place. We educate the people. We create awareness, and we do all of that. In addition to all of that, we also make digital copies like what I'm showing you here. Okay, so that was an example of how we do it and how we bring the power of technology to doing it. Now, what's very interesting is that this kind of work is happening for the first time, not just in India, in the world here in Bangalore. So to call ourselves as a technology capital, I think we have one more feather in our cap there. Yeah, it's only probably in Bangalore that this could have happened at such a large scale. Okay, now you saw the letter there and you're probably all kind of eager or inquisitive. What was that writing? I do also want to learn. So we have built a software called Akshara Bandara, which is freely accessible. All you have to do is scan this QR code or click on this link, and you can use Akshara Bandara on your phones or mobiles or tabs or whatever you want. So this is a database of about 40,000 ancient Kannada Aksharas. So I've been showing you various inscriptions from the 2nd century BC onwards. We have scanned inscriptions and we have kind of included all of that in our database. It's essentially a gamified software. You learn it through games. It throws up an image and then you ask to guess what it is. Based on your current knowledge, you try to guess and then you learn. You first practice with a few aksharas, individual characters, then you progress to words, then you progress to sentences, and so on and so forth. It's a major hit with children. In fact, we built it for children. As you can see here, you have a small boy. He's probably 5 years or 6 years old, and a girl who then was in her 8th standard, very eagerly trying to read an inscription. Okay. This will allow you not only to learn to read ancient scripts, it will also allow you to write and see things in ancient scripts. For example, here we have typed Kannada and we are asking it to show it in 8th century Kannada script. You can type your name and you can see how your name would have been written in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, in the different centuries. So you can write any sentence you want, not just, typically during Ugadi, Sankranti time, there is Ugadi Habbada Shubhashayagadu, Sankranti Habbada Shubhashayagadu in various fonts and all of that, or Kannada Rajyotsava greetings that are sent out. You can use this to do that as well now. Okay? This is again, a free software. It's used worldwide. Currently, about 50 people use it every day from across the world. Not just Bangalore, from all over Karnataka, from Bangalore, Udupi, Karwar, and from remote villages, from people who want to learn Kannada people in Bhopal, Indore, Jammu, Kashmir, Assam. We have all those people across the world. I'm amazed. Every day when I look at the data there, I'm amazed. I find somebody from Switzerland, somebody from Australia, somebody from Germany, and all of these places. People are using this software. If you are a serious epigraphist, this is a gold mine. If you want to do character comparisons, two similar looking characters, ka and ra, ga and something else, it allows us, like here you're seeing ga, sa and ha simultaneously being shown across the various places. They look a little bit similar, but they have minor variations. If you want to deep dive and understand this one, this is not just intended for learners. This is for the absolute experts. People with white hairs who've been reading inscriptions for 80 years, they get these questions and they can use it too. And the best part of it is it shows real world data. It's not textbookish in putting up some charts and asking you to learn. We are taking real world samples and we are helping you learn from that as well. So actually what you could do is use the Google map, go to the inscription stone in your locality, look at that letter, guess the letter, and here in Akshara Bandara, we have loaded all those inscriptions into the tool as well. So you can letter by letter read each one of those inscriptions standing in front of it too, of your own locality. Okay. Now, let's see a little bit more about how we make this accessible, this information accessible. And I've already showed you this map and I've kind of explained it to you in great depth. This map is available online. If you want to study and learn the history of Bengaluru in your own way, all you have to do is scan this map. This map was developed by citizens. About 25 people from across Bangalore and the world have helped develop this. Various kinds of people have helped us with this. Somebody who was proficient in Kannada typing has helped input Kannada text. Tamil has people who are proficient in Tamil have keyed in Tamil text for us of those inscriptions. Urdu, Persian also has been entered in that way. English, of course, a lot of people have helped to prepare this. Many people have recce'd. They have gone to those places, identified the inscriptions. You'll see a few inscriptions here which have a question mark, which means we don't know the status. It's probably sitting in somebody's puja room or bedroom, and we haven't been able to confirm that it exists or it does not exist. So we have instances where people from that locality have gone hunting for that and found out it still exists in the side passage of a building, or it was destroyed about 10 years ago when a house or a commercial complex came up or something like that. So this is essentially a citizens project. All that I've shown you today has got contribution not just from our team, which is the Mythic Society team, but from lots of citizens too. So for those of you who kind of want to participate, you're most welcome. to join hands and help save the heritage of our city. I'll put up the contact details as well. Now, again, how do we make it accessible? So here's one thing that we have done. This is still work in progress. All the postmarks, wherever we have the place names, in this place, Jakkur post office. This is 10th century Jakkur as it's written in an inscription. And these are actually Atma Balidana icons from the Jakkur hero stones. So the Jakkur post office is going to get this postal cancellation mark. Every post that goes to a home there will have its stamp stuck off with this. This is Hebbard. This is Perbird. This is Mallapura for Malleshwaram. This is from 1669. So every post mark from Malleshwaram post office will carry this. So when it goes to the homes, people will look at it curiously and wonder, what the hell is this? They'll dig in and they'll learn the story of their own places as well. So this is Hesargatta, again from the 15th century. Dombalura, as you already saw. Okay, this is the Bengaluru. Because it was found in Begur, we have proposed that it be made a postmark for Begur post office itself. So, many ways to reach this information. Presentations such as these is one. Exhibitions is second. Every day, everyday events such as these, such as postal cancellations, definitely Google Maps. All of that makes it, very accessible. So, and in conclusion, I just want to leave one picture here. That Hebbal stone you saw in the ditch there, which carried a pan beetle left mark, is now housed in a magnificent Ganga-style mandapa. This was crowdfunded. About 1,300 people got together and funded the building of this mandapa. It is in Ganga style, which is the period in which the hero lived. So he's feeling perfectly at home in an architecture which he is familiar with as well. The man, one of the key people behind it was a Hebbal resident by name Patel Srinivas. He took it upon himself and he said, look, you raise the funds, you do the design, I'll manage the local politics and issues and all of that, and we'll get our act together. He passed away during COVID, unfortunately, but one man can do this. His dream was, sir, I want the world to know the story of Hebbal. And here I'm telling the story for the umpteenth time to people across the world. Every one of us need to stand up for our city in this way. It's our city. We have to own up to its history. We have to own up to its culture. And we have to live up to the expectations that have been set by our ancestors as well. Okay. So that's just a teaser I wanted to leave you all with. If you want to contact me, I'm leaving my details here. Gmail address, mobile, and I work for the Mythic Society as an honorary president, as an honorary project director there. You're most welcome to drop in with prior appointment, please, to see the work in more detail as well, or to discuss how you want to participate with us. So I'll stop sharing now and take any questions. The more the questions the more we will learn here.
Thank you so much. This is so amazing. I really wish there was a way in which we could give you a standing ovation. Really, it's really beautiful. So yes, everyone, please put up your hands in Zoom, that is, and I will ask each one in turn. Yeah, Mr. Rajendra Prabhu, please go ahead.
Good evening.
Mr. Rajendra Prabhu?
Yeah, good evening. I'm here.
Yes.
Usually when we listen the name about Bengaluru, first the name is Kempegowda. So what is the relation between Kempegowda and whatever the names you mentioned? If there is a controversy, please don't speak.
No, there is no controversy at all. It's okay. It's a very common question, and it only needs to be answered definitely. So, the place Bengaluru existed for at least 600 years before Kempegowda. We have not only one in this one. I showed you one from Begur from 890 CE. We have another instance from 1248 CE. We have literary evidences. We have about five mentions of Bengaluru before 16th century or Kempegowda. So we know the place existed. Okay. But what Kempegowda did was essentially establish the Pete area and the fort. So he built the fort and then he established the Chikpete, Alpete, this Pete, that Pete, and all of that, and turned that into a thriving modern commercial hub. Okay. From that point on, it is Bangalore to this day has seen explosive growth. Okay. So what has happened is that since he was so instrumental in the development of Bengaluru, it somehow turned into the this one that he was the one who built Bengaluru. So because that is actually wrong. So, but essentially the intended meaning was to say yes, he built Bengaluru. If somebody did that much amount of development for the city, he did build Bengaluru. But it turned into a literal statement that he actually built the city himself, which is not correct. So it's very correct to say Kempegowda was critical, crucial, pivotal in the development of Bengaluru. I hope I have answered the question.
Yeah. Because previously it was called Mysore State. Then Bangalore became capital later on. So contribution was there from Mysore Maharaja.
So everybody has been contributing, and that is
Yeah.
what I was trying to show. Those 90 heroes gave their lives for the city. We don't even know most people don't even know the names. So, it's not just kings or dynasties that have developed the city. I especially called out and I said, Kumbarpete, Akkipete, Ganigarpete, every one of them has developed the city. Every one of us is building the city today. I hope you understand that, you are building the city, I'm building the city. So did thousands of people, millions of people who came before us as well. Of those, at least 90 people have given their lives, not to mention the people who died in many other battles and all of that as well. So, we have this, we have this interesting way, poetic way, romantic way of telling stories in which we kind of twist and distort things, and that sticks. The reality is quite different from that.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Shreere?
Yeah, this is Srivali.
Srivali, hang on. Shreere has his. Hello, Srivali.
No. Actually, I'm talking from Srirek's phone.
Oh, I see. Okay. Go ahead. I was trying to look for you. Go ahead.
Sorry. So my question is there a way I could access all the inscription stones related to lakes in the maps and the links you shared? I mean, is there any filter or something like that?
Yes. So in the same inscription stones. Yeah. So in the same inscription stones map, in the search field, if you just type lake or kere in Kannada, it works in any language as well. You will see all the inscriptions that are lake related highlighted. Okay. And you can study them one by one. Now, just one caveat though, Google Maps is funny. This works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. Unfortunately, I can't fix the issue there. But it does work for a lot of people. I hope it works for you as well.
Okay.
You can do this not just for lakes.
These in the maps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the inscription stones Google map, you see there's a search field there.
So,
yeah. Now, just like lakes, you can search for temples. You can search for anything you want. All the inscriptions which contain that word or related to that word will show up. So if you want to see the ancient temples of Bengaluru, just say temples, and all the inscriptions that are located in temples will show up. You can say Sandra, it will show you all the Sandra related inscription and so on. Any keyword, any search word will do fine.
So in the translation of
you're not audible.
Stones are also available online, or it's just the stones?
Can you repeat that?
Okay, problem with mine. So, is there all the inscription stones were translated and uploaded in the stones? Hello.
Yes. So the inscription stones map has about 1,500 inscriptions in and around Bangalore. Whether it's in Kannada or Tamil or English, or Telugu, it's all there. Summaries are also given in English.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's a great work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Shivali. Mr. Srinivasan, VK.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Udaya Kumar. Good evening. It's another great show.
Yeah.
Hats up to you for doing this fantastic job. My question is the kind of databases, data sets you have created with the 40,000 plus inscriptions and individual aksharas. Can we use the stamp pages available with the ASI? Because Mysore ASI has cited a lot of undeciphered stamp pages. Can we use them as an input? Or we can scan it from the pages where the exact facsimile has been provided. Because some temples are no longer exist, but we have some facsimiles of that thing which have not been deciphered. Can it be added to the corpus of our aksharas? If the model software you created will work, or it's one of the future feature.
No, the software is not capable of reading ancient inscriptions by itself today.
Okay.
What the software can help is for you to learn the ancient scripts.
Okay.
And read. Here we are trying to use AI and ML techniques to train the software to read inscriptions as well. So given an stamp page or given a photograph or something like that, we are trying to make this help the software to recognize the characters and read, but it's still some way away. At the moment, we are not able to do that.
Okay. So that answers my questions. So I'm ready to work with you on this because I'm also involved in doing some bit of something similar. Yeah, happy to work with you. Thank you.
Absolutely, Vikas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Srinivasan. Mr. Rajendra Prabhu, we'll give others a chance and then we'll come back to you. If you
Okay,
don't
no
mind.
issues.
Okay. Harini MS has her hand up. Miss Harini, please go ahead. You're on mute if you're trying to speak. Harini? Okay, while we're waiting for her, there are some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
There's a question from Manogna Shastri. Manu, you want to unmute and ask?
Thank you for a fascinating session, Dr. Kumar. I just wanted to ask what would be the roughly the relative as well as absolute ways of dating, because these are stone inscriptions, right? So what would be the ways in which they have been dated, the chronology of them?
Right. So most of these inscriptions carry a date on them explicitly in the Indian calendar system.
Got it.
So yeah, today what we follow is called the Gregorian calendar system, Jan, Feb, March, and all of that. So in the Indian calendar system, we have the Ashada, all of these months and all of that, the fortnights, the pakshas, the samvatsaras, we also have numerical years and all of that. The date is explicitly recorded on the inscription in most cases. One, in the absence of a date being recorded, the shape and form of the writing is also very indicative of a period. So in Akshara Bandara, I was showing you how A looks in 3rd century, 4th century, 5th century, and all of that. The style itself is a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so which is based on paleographical. We call it as paleography, and paleography is a way of identifying, dating them in the absence of dates.
Mm-hmm.
Second, collaboration is also in some of the sculptures that are carried on the inscriptions. For example, in the Bhupsandra Durgi, this one, there was writing as well as there was Durgi. So so we know 8th century iconography of a Durgi was of that fashion. So if some of the writing is effaced, some of it's not very readable, we can still date the sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are some of the ways in which we date. Now, typically people come and ask, can't you carbon date or do some kind of a dating? Now, there is no organic matter on the stone, usually. Carbon dating is only possible if you have organic matter.
Correct.
Right. So there are some attempts at doing other kind of dating as well, prohibitively expensive and nearly inaccessible. Just like carbon dating, there's other kinds of some other elements and dating that probably are being used in some very unique situations for to date writings on stone elsewhere in the world. But today we are nowhere near able to do anything like that. But without any ambiguity of, let's say, 50 years or 100 years, a paleography itself is a giveaway. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manu. Sudha had a question. Is it available in English? I think that's been answered. We'll just take some couple more questions from the chat and then come on to. Pooja is.
Yes,
Pooja, would you like
to
ask? Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's already answered. I had put up a question.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Pooja Yadav, would you like to unmute and ask? Okay. Pooja's question is, to what extent can we reconnect modern Bengaluru to ancient and medieval Bengaluru?
To an extraordinary extent. Like I said, I gave a few examples. Just by the name, we can connect the place. For example, if I take, let's say, Indiranagar, what we know as Indiranagar today is actually built around the village of Binnamangala. Binnamangala is where Spastic Society is, the region around Spastic Society is. So if you are a resident of Indiranagar, you go back 1,000 years. You can use names like that. You can use inscriptions. You can use temples. You can use hero stones. You can connect back virtually any neighborhood of Bangalore to the past in this way, easily. So examples of that I gave were Sandra, the name Sandra, the Kere there, or the Durgi sculpture is a giveaway. The place has been around there for 1,300 years. What the Jain Tirthankara, again, the idol there as an iconographical, this one of 14th century, mention of religious practices. A lot of these things are giveaways. You can connect every place through any one of them or many of them to the past.
Thank you so much. There is a question from Vani. Vani, would you like to unmute and ask? Vani? Okay, she's asking about the Bengaluru legend.
Okay. So that's a legend. That's folklore. Okay. The Bengaluru story is attributed to two people. One is Veeraballala and the second is Kampegoda. Both of them are actually associated with the story. Both of them lived much after the first written record of the name Bengaluru. So 890 CE is when we have the first written record of Bengaluru. Veeraballala lived about 250 years after that, and Kempegoda lived about 600 years after that. So obviously both of these are stories which have been made up for, they make nice stories. So we don't know the root of the word Bengaluru. And I think it's only fair to say we don't know, rather than come up with a plausible or a theory or something like that. A lot of these hand-me-down stories that we think of history are not history; they're mostly fake folklore. Yeah. In fact, very interestingly, the man who read that inscription stone, the Bengaluru Buttannapati Parvanasetti inscription stone, it was first read in 1914. 111 years ago, by R. Narsimachar, Rao Bahadur R. Narsimachar, who was the head of the Mysore archaeological department then. So in his archaeological report for the year, he wrote in the preface that the Bengaluru story is the legend, is the folklore, and it can now be discarded because we have found this inscription. It's 114 years, 111 years since, and we still continue to stick on to the folklore. We don't want to listen to the highest authority of the land, who said otherwise.
Yeah, I guess
these stories are hard to kind of counter. They are so deeply ingrained in public memory. You can tell it, but you can't get rid of it.
It's true, and they have got such a pull, very attractive. Anita Rao Mysore has a question. Anita, would you like to unmute and ask? Anita Rao?
Yeah. Yeah, my question is about the origin of the word. I mean, where's the actual source for Sandra being Samudra? Because, in Mysore, which is another historic place, we have only Kere mentioned and not Sandra. It's very peculiar to Bengaluru, so want to know where we can find a record for that.
Okay. So, So, inscriptions almost inevitably carry the word Samudra. So, Deva Samudra is how it is written in an inscription stone. But today the place is called Deva Sandra. So we have umpteen examples like this.
Okay.
So the reason for saying Samudra is morphed into Sandra is that the original record is Samudra's today's existing place name is Sandra. By the way, Sandra Samudra is not unique to Bangalore. There are upwards of about 500 plus Sandras and Samudras in southern India. We find right from Vizag down to it becomes Samudram in Tamil Nadu. That's all. There is a map. If you search for Sandras of India or southern India in Google, you'll find a map which I have built. I'm not very familiar with Mysore to say there are no Sandras there. You probably know it better. But I'm surprised that there are no Sandras there. You please look at that map. I've listed every single Sandra Samudra in southern India on that map. Wherever you are, whether you are in northern Karnataka or Telangana or Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu or Kerala, we have Sandras or some Samudrams all over the place.
Okay, another quick question. What about Guppe, suffix in Bangalore? Atti Guppe, Khatra Guppe, and all of that. Yes. What does that mean?
So Guppe is actually from Kuppe, a heap.
Okay.
Okay. So Atti Guppe, Khatri Guppe, all of these essentially were a heap of something. They were either made there or they lived there or whatever like that. So that is the root for this word Kuppe. Guppe. Again, this is a Mysore, it is not a Bangalore unique thing. Across all of the old Mysore region, you will find hundreds of Kuppes and Guppes. Same like Doddis, same like Aries, same like Keres, all of them. I just touched on Sandra, Palya here, but there is a similar pattern for so many other things.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. There's a question from Uma Mani. Would you like to unmute and ask?
Yeah. So, of course, I went to this Jain Basadi in Begur long back when I found out about Begur Temple.
Yeah.
It was in a bad shape. The whole place, both that and the Begur Fort. The temple, I think it was before they had done all the renovation. So it was still intact. But these two were in a very bad shape. Has there been any improvement or any effort to preserve those two places? That's something I wanted to ask.
No, they are not. They're exactly in the same condition, and which was what I was trying to show you through the images there.
Yeah.
Okay, there are hundreds of such places which are abandoned and are getting destroyed. We are losing heritage as we speak. And it took one Patel Srinivas to put a magnificent Ganga-style mandapa. He's an uneducated fellow. So rather than look up to the government or MLA or corporator or some CSR or whatever, I think we need to stand up for the city. Such places must be saved and self-celebrated.
What is the story behind Mangamandapalya? Because this is one place where in HSR layout, it's just at the outskirts of HSR. This is the only place which has got a woman's name. So I've always been curious.
No, actually, women's name in place names is not so uncommon. I don't know who Mangama was, but Palya essentially is telling us that there was a camp of soldiers there at one time.
Because this whole line, because this is along Hosur Road, there's actually a line of palyas, one after other, starting with Parangi Palya, Somasundra Palya, Hosa Palya, and then a couple of other palyas, and then we come to Mangavan Palya. So, and then we got NS Palya. It goes along to BTM layout. So this is always kind of, I've always been curious why, because I go for a lot of Arun Pai's walks, that's how I got to know about the significance of palyas. So I've always been curious why there are so many palyas along this line.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting observation. I haven't studied that. Maybe it was a route. It was alongside a road. Camps are there. Soldiers would be stationed all over, right? So maybe it's one of those routes that's being guarded.
Okay, got it.
I would suggest you put them all up on a map and study, see if there's anything that's a pattern emerging from there.
I should, because Madiwala, right? So Madiwala is supposed to be from what I read up, Madiwala has been a marketplace right from ancient time. And this is quite close to Begur as well, right? HSR layout is on the other side, Yellukunte. We are all pretty close to this one. So that's why I was wondering whether this was some kind of a military route or something. That's why I asked if there's anything
possible. I think it's worth a study.
Okay, well, I'll try to find out. Okay, thanks.
Excellent observation. Thanks for bringing it out.
Thank you, Uma.
Thank you.
Sudha has a question now. Her previous question, she didn't get a chance to ask a question earlier. Sudha, would you like to unmute and ask?
Yeah, I already put it in the chat box.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I see. I wanted to know if there are how I can get those cancellations for my collection.
Okay, they are in the process. They've been approved. They've gone through all the approvals, and they had to be released by the postal authorities soon. Okay, the Bengaluru cancellation was available just for a week in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Okay, those you can get at the Philately Bureau in GPU.
In GPU, okay.
I'm assuming it's not sold out. Somebody told me it's trading in the black.
Not like, I mean, it's very difficult to get. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can try. You can try there. That one was in 2017 for only 1 week at the Government Museum when we had an exhibition there.
And no first day covers.
Those are the first day cover. There was no first day. There was no first day cover there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now we are trying to get all of that done, and in fact, the Postmaster General changed, and unfortunately, things are slowed down now.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully by this year we will surely get it. In fact, we want to make these as the regular stamp marks in all post office. Probably never been done, but we are trying our best to get it done.
That's nice. Yeah. Wish you all the best for your endeavor. Wonderful talk. One last small question, not related to this. I as you were talking, I was just trying to, see the map. That's skull mark. I mean, there are a lot of skull marks also.
40% of the inscriptions have been destroyed in the last 20-30 years. Ever since urbanization kind of started in the city, we are losing heritage. Heritage is in the ICU right now.
So if someone by chance comes across something, I'm not living in Bangalore, I'm living in Pune, but my son is in Bangalore. If someone comes across it, they can contact you.
Yeah, right? Of course, please do.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudha. Kirti has a question. Kirti, would you like to unmute and ask? Kirti? Okay, his question is, the name Yalahanka doesn't have any Halli, Agrahara, Palya, etc. it's a unique name. He was wondering if it has a specific meaning. He stays in Yelahanka.
He stays in Yelahanka. Okay, all right. So, conjecture. We don't know the roots of that as well. We don't know the roots for many things. There's a lot of good work to be done in history for that reason. But Yelahanka finds mention from inscriptions which are as old as from the 10th century. So it's called Yelahakka is the earliest mention. Yelahakka, Ilaipaka, it becomes the Ilaipaka in Tamil. Then Yelahanka as well. Now, people have their own theories. I would rather not come up with those theories without knowing really what it is. We leave it as a mystery to be solved. But it's a very ancient place. We know it. We know that it's ancient from its written records, which go back about 1,000 years.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, we are back to you, Mr. Rajendra Prabhu. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. Sir, now since you are in a private institution like a NGO,
yeah,
will the government like ASI or another NGO like Intact take care of those things? And secondly, I think your team should contact the Bangalore Municipal Corporation that anyone builds a house or levels a land should report them, and you should tell them that there are a lot of stones or Veeragallu or some type of stones maybe lying underneath. So it should be brought to their notice. Otherwise, they will break it into pieces and build it as a drainage stones or cover slabs, etc.
Absolutely. So regarding your first point about working with archaeology departments, Karnataka State Archaeology Department is one of our biggest supporters in terms of facilitating the work we do.
Okay.
In terms of saving the stones and hero stones and all of that, they are severely starved of funds to do that.
Oh.
Okay. Extraordinary cases, yes, they step in and do things. Whenever we need to relocate a stone from a very kind of say dangerous place to another thing, the archaeology department helps us do that as well.
Oh.
ASI is actually ASI is not the caretaker for most of these things. They are only the caretaker for some things which have been notified as centrally recognized monuments. So all these inscriptions I'm talking about don't come under the gamut of ASI at all. Yeah, it's some of those like the Ashokan inscriptions and some of the other inscriptions is their responsibility, and again there also they support us extensively in scanning and all of this kind of work. ASI inscriptions are usually better protected because they are far fewer, and they are recognized as nationally important, so therefore they get some funding to do it and all of that. Okay, and then the last question about notifying government bodies. Yes, we try to sensitize and we do communicate with government bodies. The administrative side of the house, in terms of the DCs, the EOs, the CEOs, the panchayat, and all of them, we share a lot of information. We go meet them and we share these maps as well. We do joint surveys with them and all of that. Organizations like BMRCL or K-Ride, all of them, again, they use, we give them our maps. If the K-Ride is using it to identify any inscriptions, or that's the metro train, suburban train authority. So so they are very kind enough to actually approach us and say, this is the track, this is the the area we are working in. Are there any hero stones inscriptions in this area? Please let us know. We'll relocate them or we'll save them or something like that. BBMP, no, not yet. Not us, but others have been lobbying very hard to get a Heritage Act passed. Intact Bangalore specifically has been working to do that, where some of these buildings and some of these monuments are declared as heritage. Currently, I think it's only Ahmedabad in the country which has an heritage bill. So any changes to a structure or object needs some approval and has to comply with certain expectations and all of that. So there has been lobbying by quite a few people in Bangalore to make it happen. Hasn't happened yet. I think the best way to do it is when the next time a corporator or a MLA or a MP comes knocking at your door, Ask him what you're doing for our heritage. This is the heritage in our area. Ask him to stand up for that as your representative. You can stand it up, of course, but I think if you want to bring in government awareness in that, we have to work it into an election agenda, which is very far-fetched right now.
Sir, one more thing. When I physically attended your seminar in Mythic Society, you have mentioned one software. You told us to install one software in our mobile so that wherever we go and click such places of historic interest, it will be mapped and tagged to the GIS or GPS system, and it will be shared. So if you can share that, and every person installs it even for school children, especially if you educate school children, because most of them come from villages or they're farmers. When they dig their or plow the land, they may find something, stones beneath the soil. They can immediately click it and share it, so it can be it will come to to your notice.
Yes. So the software I had mentioned was called EpiCollect 5, EPICOLLECT 5, but it's not so simple. If you are going to be doing that kind of work, you'll have to approach us. We'll have to add you in as a user and all of that. It's not just that you can install the software and start doing it and we'll get the info. It doesn't work like that. Contact me directly if you're going to be doing that, or school children are going to be doing that, and we'll structure it and organize it for you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rajendra. Any other questions? Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, I had a question. Which is the latest find among the inscription stones which has been added to your database?
It's probably today. I'm working from home today, so I'm not aware. So what I mean by that is we have people surveying all the time. Okay. So right now we have 2 students working in the Ramnagara Chanpatna area. For the past 1 month, they've been surveying. Every day they go village to village, place to place, and document things. So most likely it is today. There are many undiscovered things. Right. It's not like kind of as rare or exotic or something like that. So I don't know if Anusha is online here. She's the one who is monitoring the survey. She can tell you if there was a find today or yesterday or whatever. Yeah.
Can't see it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Anusha is there. Anusha Morching, right?
Yes.
Yes. Anusha, do you have any updates?
Okay, she may not have a mic where she's attending from. She'll respond in the chat window if there is something.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much. Mr. Shankar, R. Shankar has his hand up. Please go ahead. You're on mute.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations and compliments on the wonderful talk you gave, Dr. Udaya Kumar. This is Shankar, a retired professor of marine geology. It was very heartening to know about the very long history that Bangalore has, starting from the peninsular Nice. And I just emailed to you a photograph of an inscription which speaks of a lady called Mariammani.
Okay.
Who built a lake or a kere for public benefit. It is dated 1898. So
okay, recent.
If it is not there, you can take it up.
Okay.
This happens to be the grandmother of my father-in-law, who is about 94 years old.
Okay.
In Chikpete, you may have heard of Gaudra Veerbhadrappa's Samskrita Veda Patashale.
Yeah.
You have heard of that?
No, I have not.
Okay. So this gentleman, this is my father-in-law's grandfather. He started Veda and Samskrita Pathshala in Bangalore, so that all people, not only Brahmins, everyone can get the benefit of studying Sanskrit and Vedas.
Okay.
So his wife, put up this, made this kere.
Okay.
I sent it by email to you, so
I will look at it. So thank you so much. Very interesting. Actually, history can get very personal this way. And when it gets very personal, it also becomes very relevant. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the wonderful talk. very illuminating. I live in Bangalore only for the past few years. I was at Mangalore, just one alphabet difference, Mangalore to Bangalore. I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, if you're feeling Mangalore, we have so many samudras here. You can visit one of them.
Arabi Samudra is the one.
All right.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shankar. Mr. Rajshekhar? Mr. Rajshekhar, you're on mute. Your hand is up. Oh, he's taken down his hand. Anybody else has any further questions?
And how is Bidadi named?
Don't know, sir. I'll have to search and find out.
What I heard is Bidadi is a place where, Madhuyadaga, Bigru Bartarala, they are put up there, Bidadi Mane. So that is
Bidbidodu.
Bidbidodu. It's a place where you accommodate your, in-laws.
So, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಸ್ಥಳನಾಮದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಬಂದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾದಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಹೆಸರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುರಾತನ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಾಚೀನವಾಗಿ ಆ ಊರಿಗೆ ಮೊದ್ಲಿಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಪದಗಳು ತಗೊಂಡು ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ.
Yes, I do agree. ಹೌದು.
ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಳೆ ಶಾಸನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡದಿ ಊರು ಅಥವಾ ಹೆಸರು ಉಲ್ಲೇಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಅದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಏನೋ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದೇನೇ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ. ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ತರ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಷ್ಟನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಿಜ ಅಂತ ಸಾಧಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇತಿಹಾಸಕಾರರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ ಬೇರೆ. ಆಧಾರ ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಅಗತ್ಯವಿರುತ್ತೆ.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು
ಸರ್. ಇದು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್?
ಈಗ ನಾವು ವಿಕಿಪೀಡಿಯಾ ಪೇಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವುಗಳೇ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ತುಂಬಿದೀವಿ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಬಡಾವಣೆಗೂ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೊಂದು 100 ಶಾಸನಗಳನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ದಿದೀವಿ. ಶಾಸನ, ಪಾಠ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಸ್ಥಳನಾಮಗಳು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಅಥೆಂಟಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹೈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ಹೈ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ, ಐ ವುಡ್ ಸೇ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಇದು, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೀಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you. So, if there are no further questions, we'll wind up the session. Thank you so much, Mr. Udaya Kumar. This was really an amazing. Oh, there is one more question. Sorry, Vidya. Yeah, go ahead, please, Vidya.
Namaste. It was very interesting. One question. Like Bengaluru anta first ide boundary anta yadadru itta, like elladru inscription sikkirodu ಬೇಗೂರು ಆ ಕಡೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾದ್ರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೇರೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೋತು, ಆತರ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆತರ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಶಾಸನಗಳು, ಉಲ್ಲೇಖಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಗಮನಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅದು 9ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಿಂದ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಏನಂತೀರಾ, ಈ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೊರತು ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಊರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಿದ್ರು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಡ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆತರ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆತರ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗಮನಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನೆನ್ನೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೂ ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೂ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ.
ಅದೇ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಿಗಿಂಗ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡದಿವರೆಗೂ ಹೋಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ರಾಮನಗರನು ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಒಂದ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ
ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಹುಶಃ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬಹುದು ಏನೋ. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Thank you. Interesting question. Anusha has put up a message in the chat.
Okay.
She said, till the afternoon, students of Surana College have documented 5 undocumented hero stones in Chenpatna. So that's great. So as you said today, 5 new stones in Chenpatna.
Well, there's two ways to think about it. One is we feel good that we have identified some more now. Now also think about it this, for every 5 we have identified, 4 have been destroyed.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have lost those as well. Somehow, and even more, 4 were destroyed and probably 1 or 2 were destroyed in the recent past. So while that discovery has that romance and all of that, preservation is also equally important.
Right.
Yeah. So the quest for discovering something and claiming to fame, I found something is, I would say, actually not good. I would put my energies and thoughts on conservation today.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. On that note, I think we'll wind up the session. Thank you so much, Mr. Udaya Kumar, for coming and doing the session for us. And thanks to everyone who attended. I hope you found the session interesting. We will be uploading the recording on Biome Environmental Trust's YouTube channel. So please do keep an eye out for those who you can share it with those who would have been interested, whom you know. Thank you, everyone, once again, and wish you a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.